by John Robinson. Cast: Cliff Latham, artist. Jenna Hawkins, aspiring artist. Setting: industrial lofts in a big city. Jenna Hawkins, a young woman recently out of grad school, decided to ring the buzzer of Cliff Latham, a very successful artist. He lives a few doors down from her, but she never had the courage to meet him before today.
Cliff Latham?
Yes?
I live 3 doors that way. I'm Jenna Hawkins.
Hawkins?
Have you heard of me?
Come in. It's okay.
Ordinarily, I wouldn't.
Don't stand in the hall.
Well, it's not cold or anything.
But it is the hall.
Ordinarily, I wouldn't introduce myself. I'm actually kind of a recluse.
Me too. Very much the recluse.
Jenna slowly enters. She's carrying a canvas sloppily wrapped with a wrinkled brown paper bag, which she places against one wall. Then she begins to examine Cliff's work.
These are nice landscapes.
I paint landscapes.
Buildings.
I paint buildings.
Photographs.
This is my studio.
You live here, though?
Yes. People come to my studio to buy my art, photos, and pose for my landscapes.
Yes. I watch them come and go.
Jenna, isn't it? It's Jenna.
Mind if I look?
No.
I can touch those hills. They seem so real. I can imagine objects rolling down. That rock appears to have just rolled down.
Are you in the art business?
In what sense?
You seem to have an eye.
I relish the fantastic.
I'm not sure I follow you.
I have something in me, a need. Do you ever feel driven?
No?
Aren't you excited?
But you see, I've been doing this for years. Painting, drawing, it's a business.
I know.
Look around. If there's something you like, we can make arrangements.
So nothing is fresh.
Fresh?
Fresh for you.
Well, put it this way. I know what sells, so I tend to go in that direction, so I can put bread on the table.
To me, it all seems fresh.
Thanks.
Like that barn. I can see the fence, the horse in the field. It's real American.
The horse eluded me.
A restless filly?
I was at that farm. I took my paints there. I rendered it as accurately as I could.
But the horse.
I couldn't catch the horse.
I understand.
I had no trouble with the barn. The color matches it.
Do you offer classes?
They're expensive.
I'd like to take a class.
Every other Saturday morning.
I'm willing to pay.
Well, I can't just accept anybody. I would have to see a sample of your work.
I brought a sample of my work.
Mind if I have a look?
Jenna awkwardly, wildly, and noisily rips the brown paper wrapping, carelessly tossing the fragments, and shows Cliff her painting.
What? How do you like lamb apples?
Did you paint this?
Yes.
So you painted this?
It's a sketch.
Is it? What is it exactly?
It's...
Jenna makes a sequence of wild, incomprehensible gestures while Cliff looks on, bewildered.
It doesn't really exist.
I have never seen anything like this.
Is that meant as a...
Just an observation.
I see.
You know, I have to be careful about who I admit to my class. I can't just accept someone off the street.
I live 3 doors down.
No, I know where you live.
Then you don't like my work.
I'm familiar with abstract expressionism, surrealism, and so on, but it's weird.
In what way?
I don't quite understand its thrust.
So you miss it's...
This may be very good and work on some level, but you see, I'm not the one to judge. That's not my job. The best advice I can give you is to keep at it and don't give up.
So you don't think much of my work.
It's just that my classes are full right now.
You teach more than one class?
I have to make a living, Janet.
Jenna Hawkins.
The rolling hills you said you could touch, they were from a photo of the East Bay, a fault line. The rock you said that had just rolled down was upended by an ancient earthquake.
I like it very much.
Name a price.
My sketch is mic'd out, enlarged, and suspended in space.
I don't get that.
Which is why I need your class.
I wish you'd be careful.
What?
You make these gestures.
I speak with my hands.
You sweep the air.
I'm aware of space.
You almost touch my landscape.
I want to experience your studio.
Treat it with respect, please. Don't saw the air like that. It's unnecessary.
It's how I express myself.
You could knock over one of my sculptures.
You need a larger studio.
That's enough.
I'm taking your time.
It was very nice meeting you. Leave your contact info, and I will notify you as soon as there's a slot.
I'm on the waiting list?
You made the waiting list. Now, please, I'm sorry, but...
I'm a woman, is that why?
What?
You reject me? You only accept men?
I reject men also.
You're rejecting me.
No, I didn't.
You said also.
That's your fantasy, Ms. Hawkins.
What do you have against me?
I don't have anything against women.
Then why do you kick me out of your studio?
Perhaps you didn't hear me correctly, Miss Hawkins.
See, you don't realize how long I've been sitting in my apartment, going back and forth in my mind, trying to work up the courage to do what I'm doing now. Every day I'd say, okay, today, Jenna, you must go 3 doors down and bring your best work and let fate do the rest. But then I look at the sketch, saying to myself, it needs this, it needs that. So I tear it up and start over. Then, when it was as good as I could possibly make it, I still couldn't get up the courage, putting it off until today. I finally braved it.
Okay.
That's why the waiting list won't do.
I can't bump any of my current students.
You've been listening to me, Cliff?
Watch those gestures.
What gestures?
You just missed.
I never miss.
Stop that swirling around.
Why are you afraid of expression?
All right, enough. I must ask you to leave my studio. You come in here, you insult me.
Insult you? I called you a genius.
I'm busy. I have a business, buyers and clients.
This painting cost me blood and tears.
I'm sure.
Don't piss on that.
Oh, this is getting serious. Leave now, or I will call the police.
Meredith Slater, noted art critic, enters. She's middle-aged and suffers from mild arthritis. Her movements are somewhat stiff.
So it's getting that serious.
The door was open, so I just barged in. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No. Miss Hawkins was just leaving.
I'm Meredith, and you're...
Jenna Hawkins.
Meredith.
Jenna.
I'm Meredith Slater.
I've heard of you. You're Meredith Slater.
Yes, some say I'm not a bad art critic.
Meredith Slater is a critic, a collector, and my friend.
I've read Meredith's articles in Art Forum.
I'm not important, only a critic. This is Cliff Latham. He's the reason I exist.
He has a name. He has a following. I follow him.
You follow Cliff?
Yes, Meredith.
Noticing Jenna's painting Cliff had placed on an easel, Meredith proceeds to examine it.
Say, what's interesting? What is that?
Oh, it's just...
Let me examine it a little closer, my guy.
It's a sketch, really. It's just a...
Quite interesting, Cliff, and quite a departure for you, but an intriguing one.
You think it's an intriguing departure?
It blames the...
No, it's not mine.
No, I can see it isn't your usual stuff. It seems to come from some kind of a weird place, but I love it.
You love it?
I love this. It's wonderful how I love this departure, Cliff. Do you mind if I purchase it?
It's not my work.
No, it is definitely yours. All the elements are there, just juxtaposed and rendered with a unique abandon. The oak themes are reconfigured plinth, producing a refreshing, innocent take. The horse you couldn't control is leaping at me as that inflated-footed cat. I just adore this new piece.
I think it's his best work.
Just 1 second, Miss Hawkins.
It caught my eye the instant I entered the space.
Jenna's gesture on the words, "this space," inadvertently hits Meredith squarely in her jaw, knocking the critic off balance and sending her crashing to the floor.
Do you see what you just did, Miss Hawkins?
I'm very sorry, Meredith Slater.
You just hit Meredith Slater.
I'll be all right.
I warned you not to swing so wildly, Janet.
Jenna!
I was wondering if it would be possible for someone to help me up and on the floor.
Helping Meredith up.
Of course.
My dress is quite full of dust and debris, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry about the floor.
It's my fault.
Yes, it is.
I wasn't looking where my hand was swinging.
No.
I'm naturally an expressive type.
Oh?
It's how I paint.
I'd like to see your...
Well, you just saw my work.
You must be quite an athlete.
Sorry I smashed your jaw.
She's going to be my student soon.
I'm on the waiting list.
I'd better sit down. I'm a little shaken.
Now, I want there to be no misunderstanding, Meredith. This work is not mine. It is the piece done by the young lady who just hit you.
I didn't mean to.
I'm rather amazed that you liked it. I think, actually, that I must reevaluate my entire career in the light of your remarks, Meredith. This young lady really has something fresh, something of value.
I don't feel very well.
Thank you, Clip, for saying that. It impresses me that you would humbly admit that a total novice might, in fact, have a spark.
You nasty, nasty person.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
But
You punch a defenseless, arthritic woman? Why?
I didn't.
Now I hurt everywhere.
But if for a moment you could forget that.
Forget what?
We were talking about my painting.
Perhaps I should state it again so it is absolutely clear. It is hers. Her work.
The Big Fish Girl's work?
I hit you by mistake. I didn't mean to floor you. Please forgive me.
Forgive you?
I admit I was excited because I actually created something that impressed noted art critic Meredith Slater.
I hit my head when I fell.
Your hen.
My head hurts.
Where?
In here. Things are jostled. I see with my eyes, but things are recombined. It's difficult to explain.
You're just a little dizzy, Meredith.
What was that paging I said, Mr. Fresh? That one? Pay goodbye. This young lady? That's
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
Why would I say anything complimentary about it? It's terrible. I must have had momentary lapse of judgment.
What? But you said...
Yes.
Wait.
I don't know what I was thinking.
It's because you fell down.
Please don't hit me again.
No.
Thank you for visiting my studio. Now, if you'll excuse us, Meredith and I have some business we need to discuss.
Just a minute.
My suggestion to you, young lady, find something else to do with your time.
You're saying this because you were hit.
Oh, it's nothing. I'm much better.
No, your brain is off.
That will be all.
No. You must repeat what you said earlier, before you fell. Some log or other was damaged. It's not my fault.
Please, that's enough.
She's not Meredith Slater anymore, Cliff. Can't you see that? Something crawled into her brain on the floor. Some sand, dust, grit. She used to love my work.
Goodbye, Jenna.
Meredith Slater said my painting was a work of art.
Are you quite finished being violent?
You haven't seen anything. You haven't seen anything. I must knock some sense into you, the sense you had before.
Menaces Meredith. When Cliff tries to help, Jenna elbows his solar plexus.
Cliff, help.
Ow!
Cliff doubles over and struggles to regain his breath.
I just knocked Cliff out cold. You're next, Meredith. I must give you another smart punch to snap your brain back on track, because your present crit of my work is unacceptable, Meredith.
As she chokes Meredith.
You mean that painting?
Yes, that paging, which you said was garbage.
Why? What could I have been thinking? It is the most magnificent work of art I've ever seen, dear. It's replete with a unique sense of chaotic coherence. Now, would you be so good as to take your hands, put around my throat?